Welcome back, friends, to The Real Dad Show. I'm Rocco DeLeo, your host for today. And, well, as long as I keep doing the show, I guess I'm going to be the host. So episode number 68, we're going to call this one Be Still. Be Still. I'm going to come up with a better name on that for the blog post that's going to go along with it. But really the reason why I say Be Still, we're going to get into it a little bit more. The Holy Spirit planted a little psalm called Psalm 46 in my heart recently. I'm going to read that to you here in just a few minutes. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a heads up of what else we're going to talk about here, and then I'm going to get into that. But Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Things have been crazy around here. Really crazy. I've been stressing out a lot. Almost having an identity crisis. There's the show... amazingly, for a 20-minute show that I do once a week that makes me no money, I spend a lot of time thinking about it, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think it keeps me sane. And those of you who do podcast or blog or have any other sort of creative outlet that you share publicly, especially, but even if you don't, you know what I mean. It definitely becomes a part of who you are. And sometimes people look at you crazy. It's like, oh, come on, it's just a podcast or whatever. But I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. And just how amazing God is and how God is using this, not to make my podcast better, maybe, but that's not what any of this is about. It's to make me connect with Him better, in a better relationship with God. I have my handy dandy notes here. I've decided I can't do this with notes anymore. I was doing it with, I'll tell you a little, I tried to record another episode on a different topic, part of my identity crisis. I recorded it like 6 times. I'm like, I can't do this. So no more just go flying by the seat of my pants. I'm going to have to do a little bit of work here. And I want to do that. I want to deliver good quality for you guys. So we're going to talk today a few things. I want to talk about my summer review. And I think this is something that especially us as dads, and you moms too, but I can only speak for dads because I'm a dad, reviewing how my summer went. Because I talked about it at the beginning a few episodes back, or many episodes back, I don't know. And this was something that was important to me, was to have a good summer with the kids. I'm not a big fan of summer. You would think. I live in California. It's like 8,000 degrees. As I record this on Sunday, September 11th, and it's 90 something degrees outside. It's ridiculous. I'm ready for autumn, fall, or whichever comes first. I'm ready for this. So I want to give it a little bit of background on summer and how I'm going to take the successes of summer and move forward into my favorite time of year, which is fall and the holiday season. And then I want to get into some of the crazy stress and something really neat and new that you're going to see coming from me. But it also is going to also, I'm going to use the word, maybe that's my crutch word for the day. Also, I'm going to connect. I'm already connecting with Jesus, my relationship with Jesus, more through making one simple change in the way I do my morning Bible study. Now, it's not going to work for everybody, but I found something that works for me. So I'm going to get into that as well. So now if I were fancier, this would be where I'd have some fancy bumper music and we'd go into our first topic, but I'm not that fancy. My brain doesn't work that way. So I want to talk about summer, how summer went this year. So I have my handy dandy notes here, and end of summer, looking forward to the holidays. This is my little notes here. So what did I do this summer that I felt brought me a lot of success? Well, one thing I did at the beginning of summer is I scheduled my days off. I sat down and I put them in. I put them in the computer. I put them in my work computer. And obviously I put them in Kronos to make sure I got paid for my days off. Because getting fired would not make for a great holiday season. But I sat down and I said, I planned it out. I was intentional about it. I want to take these days off. I want to go to the beach. I want to go here on these days. I want to just have this day off just randomly because I think this will be a good day to have off. I want to have the day before the first day of school off. I don't need the first day of school off. I just need to go in a little late that day. So that worked out well. And I'm going to take that into the holiday season. And I sat down. I haven't officially done that yet, but I sat down the other day. Actually, it was late, and I just, I was sick of looking at Facebook. So I started looking at a few things that I know that I want to do, and I've already committed, although not financially, I haven't bought the tickets yet, but I want to take my daughters to the Nutcracker Ballet. Locally here, we have Playhouse down in Temecula. If you're familiar with the area, it's about 15, 20 minutes from where I'm at. I did this before a few years ago, the ballet. It's like 25 or $30 or whatever. I took Angelina. This year I'm going to take Angelina and Hallie right around Christmas time. Let me tell you guys, I am Clark Griswold, and this stuff geeks me out. I hope it's raining. I hope it's freezing. But when I say freezing, I hope it's like 65 degrees. And I want to get hot chocolate. I want to do all that stuff. And that stuff doesn't happen automatically, at least not for me. I don't go, oh, hey, it's December 12th. Let's go to the play. I'll be too busy. I'll have to cut the lawn or read a book. No, I'm going to sit down, and I haven't, it's a little early, but for the podcast, I wanted to talk about it now. And this podcast, it's September 11th when I'm recording this, but this podcast is going to come out closer to October 1st, somewhere around there. So by the time you hear this, it's already like committed. Hey, it's on my whiteboard. I need to sit down and if I need to take days off, these will be on Saturdays, but if I need to take days off or whatever, I need to order the tickets online. I need to make sure I've got both kids going. I've got blah, 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 right? I digress. So stuff like that. I'm also going to take, I'm thinking, Dad, you're listening to this. We'll talk about this soon. Maybe we did this a couple of years ago too. As an entire family, we went and saw Christmas Carol at the same place. I was thinking of something like that, or maybe finding a different play. But again, geeking out and experiencing all this stuff. Sooner than that, I need to schedule our times to go apple picking and to go pumpkin this and all this stuff. Listen, guys, you have to schedule this stuff. Those of you that can wing this, first of all, if you can wing it, that's awesome. But let me tell you, even if you can wing it, if you could plan it, you'll get more stuff. You'll get to do more stuff. And don't just do stuff to do it. For me, it's important. These are great experiences and great memories. And I am Clark Griswold. So this stuff is really important to me. And so that's a big thing I'm doing here. And I did a great job of that this summer. The other thing I did this summer that, I don't think we did it that great of, if you remember me talking about, I don't remember if I did talk about this, was the bedtime thing. Rocco Jr. staying up just way too late. I did control it somewhat. He was not up all night, every night. Now, lately, he got a PS4 for his birthday, so I don't think he slept in 2 weeks. But that'll settle down a little bit. So I give myself okay, and it definitely worked out better for Angelina. Angelina was going to bed every night at a reasonable time. Hey, one out of three. Well, the 3-year-old was good too, but one out of the 2 older kids. I think that's pretty good. You know what? Bad mic technique there. Sorry, but I gotta give myself a little grace. This is something I've done better at. And this podcast has really helped me. I talk it out, I can't beat myself up. Oh, I need to be perfect and the kids need to go to bed and they need to, sing a little song and blah, blah, blah. No, listen, I'm doing the best I can here. And so are you. So when you hear that, don't beat yourself up. Just, it helps to do what I'm doing here. You don't have to do it on podcast for, thousands and thousands, I wish. Thousands and thousands, really, that would be awesome. Thousands of people to hear this. Okay, 6 or 7 people to hear this or whatever, right? You just do it for yourself. Journal it, write it down. I don't know, write it on a piece of paper and stick it on the fridge. Whatever helps for you. But to see, hey, this is what I want to do. This is my plan for the summer. At the end of summer, what happened? Okay, I wanted bedtime. It was okay. It worked. I give myself a C, right? Well, it's better than an F, and you're moving in the right direction. Something else, another thing, I've discovered cheap popsicles. In fact, I have some in the freezer, and I want one right now, but I'm not going to do that while I'm podcasting. Those things are great. The cheap ones, the uber cheap ones. I think it's like 99 cents for 412. I don't know, whatever. This stuff, the neighborhood kids come over, and you just start handing these things out. They just give them to everybody. It's great. They love you. The kids are cool. Everyone's, it's better than them raiding the pantry and eating all your pudding snacks, okay? Listen, pudding snacks are not cheap, and they're good. Yogurt's another thing. It's too expensive. And then there's dishes. Give them these cheap popsicles. Go outside. Eat your popsicles. They love it. It's really cool stuff. And then another thing. Here's another. I'm running out of time here. This is crazy. We might go long this week, but it's okay. This is good stuff. Food. Again, I'm starting to get a little geeky with Pinterest and discovering some really good stuff. Again, I got to give myself some grace. It's just me here. And I've got kids. I've got the other stuff I want to do. I like cooking. Don't get me wrong. I do like cooking. I even enjoy cooking. more in the fall than in the summer, but I enjoy cooking. But I don't love cooking. I don't go, oh, I just get so much excitement out of cooking. Sometimes I do, but it's not the main thing. I hope this makes sense what I'm saying here. So I don't have to cook some crazy meal every day. So I'm discovering ways to have relatively healthy, relatively cheap, that cooks quickly, especially during the week. And I look at my week, I'm intentional about my week. And I did that. I learned that over the summer because I started by cooking all this fancy schmancy stuff that I've talked about before. And it's like ridiculously, it takes too much time and energy, and it's not giving me the return that I want. That's the whole point. If you love it and you just feel so lifted up by spending tons of time cooking, then do it. Maybe your family gets together and does the dishes together, or that's a big thing. You're cutting up vegetables, and that's a way it brings you together. For me, no. I'm in the kitchen. The kids are outside. It takes me forever to cook. It takes an hour and a half to cook a dinner. It takes us 5 minutes to eat it. Maybe 10 minutes to eat it, and then it takes us 12 hours to clean it up. That's not fun. I don't find that fun. So, I'm finding other ways to do that. So I learned that about myself. And I'm looking forward to this. And then I'm going to get into some more of the meat and potatoes of some of the stuff where the topic comes from. I'm looking forward to fall. Fall is my favorite time of the year, friends. Why? What do I love about fall? I love caramel apple cider from Starbucks. Holy smokes. And it's like 80,000 degrees. It's like the temperature of the sun. And I love it. It's so good. It's so tasty. I just tried some pumpkin spice Cheerios. Listen, I'm sitting here going, oh my goodness, I'm talking to a microphone on a Sunday afternoon about pumpkin spice Cheerios, and I love it. I love it. This stuff just gives me a warm and fuzzy. I don't know. What else do we like? Fireplaces. Waking up early in the morning and reading a book by the fireplace. Again, I live in Southern California. So you guys back east might be laughing at me. I was like, oh, he's got the fireplace on. It's 62 degrees. I've had the fireplace on with the air conditioning, not often, but sometimes I get desperate. Again, I love this kind of stuff. I geek out about this kind of stuff. Wearing hoodies and sitting outside of my fire pit, waking up in the morning and reading my Bible when the sun's coming up, and I've got the fire pit on and I'm almost too cold to be out there. I love that. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to go apple picking and all that good stuff too. And comfort food. That's cool stuff. Now I wish I had, maybe here's the little bumper. I don't know. Volume wasn't even high. Let's turn the volume up. Let's do this. Make it. Can I make it? That's it for the fall stuff. Let's talk about stress. Okay? Because I wanted to talk about the warm and fuzzy stuff because you know what? That's actually part of the cure for the stress is that warm and fuzzy stuff. And I'm going to talk to you guys more about some of the fall stuff and hopefully giving you guys ideas on what you can do too and sharing a little bit about who I am. But I've been under a lot of stress. What year are we in? 2016 has been a very stressful year for me. And I want to tell you, I wish I had that music, that Freedom Ring. I don't have it. I want to tell you, August 29th, I was awarded full custody. I won my case. That doesn't mean it's over, but I won my case. I got full custody. So that has been very stressful. And I'm still reeling from the stress because that was an extremely stressful day. It was 4 hours of sitting in a hallway with people that I didn't want to be sitting in the hallway with. So that was a lot. That was a lot of stress. So that just kind of gets things going, right? So I wanted to share that with you. I shared that out on the Real Man Cave and some of the places, not in the main public stuff on Facebook. I just, I don't want to poke a hornet's nest too much, but I just want to tell you that. But there's been a lot of stress there. So as far as the show goes, I was, putting all this in the mix. I get this show, and we're talking about custody of my kids, and then we're talking about Rocco's podcast. It doesn't seem to make sense. Like, well, of course that's more important. The podcast? No, I'm kidding. The kids. But stuff like this, again, as I said in the intro there, this stuff is very important. And I feel like I'm am pushing back and say, hey, how dare I want to focus on my podcast? It is a distraction, but it's more than a distraction. It's therapy for me. And I'm being told that other people, that people enjoy this, and some of the stuff I say helps other people. So I know I'm not the only one that goes through this stuff. But recently, I felt like I was going through a little identity crisis with the show, and like I've been listening to some other podcasts, some more professional level podcasts. I want to be more like them, and I thought about even talking about politics. I do love politics. I'm kind of a political nerd in economics and stuff, but I don't know it. I don't know it enough. So I would have to do a lot of research. So I recorded an episode on some really controversial subjects. And then it didn't feel right. I'm like, no, this doesn't, somebody comes to my show. This isn't what they're expecting, and it wouldn't be fair to them. So I let it go. I'm not going to do this. And then I wanted to get more topical. And one of the topics I wanted to talk about was narcissism. And then again, I started talking, like, this just doesn't fit me. Now, I'll probably talk about narcissism in some context or whatever in some other episodes. Maybe I don't think of this one, but I wanted to talk more of like, hey, I wanted to teach what narcissism, and it's like, no. So I just kind of going through this identity crisis and just feeling really overwhelmed. And at the same time, maybe this is a spiritual battle, but at the same time, I felt disconnected with my Bible time and my prayer time. And I hadn't been getting up as early in the morning, and because of the stress with court and maybe a little bit of PTSD, I've been oversleeping. So I've been having this rushed Bible time. So I really want to, I really want to give you good quality material. I want to add value to your life, to your time. I figure 20 to 25 minutes. I'll figure maybe 1 or 2 interviews every few weeks. 1 or 2 interviews a month. Those are easy for me. This is the stuff, but this is the stuff where I have to add the value rather than a guest. But I want to add that value. But it has to be from the heart. But I can't take time away from my relationship from Jesus in my studying of Jesus' word, of God's word. So I can't take that time away. And I can't take time away from my kids. I promised that when I started the show. So the other day, I should have wrote it down. I don't remember exactly where I was. But I had in my mind or in my heart or wherever the Holy Spirit plants these seeds. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. I didn't even know where that was from. I knew it was from the Bible. I'm like, where is that? Like, what is this? Why do I keep hearing this in my heart? But that sounded great. So overwhelmed. And I'm telling you, I'm recording these podcast episodes and I'm just like, I want to quit. I've got court and I've got all this stuff going on. And I'm feeling like life is passing me by. I'm just so busy. Like, I'm not, I'm angry with the kids and I'm short and I'm 5'7", 5'8". But I could still have a little humor, right? Then I hear this and it's, wow. So I want to read. I had to Google. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, be still and know I'm God. Let's see what comes up. And what came up was Psalm 46:10. But I'm going to read the entire Psalm 46. And then I'm going to talk to you about what I think is going to change everything for me for the better. Psalm 46. I'm reading the New King James Version. I actually like the NLT, but this is what I have in front of me right now. Excuse me. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried in the midst of the sea, though its waters roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with its swelling, there is a river whose stream shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. The nations raged. The kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice. The earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord, who has made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. I turn my screen back on here. Psalm 46:10. Psalm 46, I'm sorry. Be still and know that I'm God. I'm not the kind of guy that could just read a little bit. I want to read some context. I want to read that, but boy, oh boy. Wow. I read that and I said, okay. I got the right guy on my side. So I leaned into that a little bit. And I had a conversation the other day with my friend Matt Cochran, who's a podcaster, the MJC podcast. And he is, I forget the episode number. Put a link in the show notes, but just look him up. Control. Oh, I can't remember. I should have, but whatever. You can look him up on my on rockodelio.com, and he's excuse me, he's a featured guest. So you can see Matt Cochran. I'm gonna take a drink here, friends. It's better than hearing me clear my throat, and I will not edit that out. I could tell you I will. How many times I hear that? I'm gonna edit that out, and they don't. So I leaned into this. And I'm talking to Matt Cochran, and he's talking about writing devotionals. And I will. I'm going to put some links to Matt's stuff. Matt has a passion for writing devotionals, and he's done these into Bible studies as well. And I really enjoyed talking to him, the one we recorded the episode, but I've had some conversations with him, and what a great man of God. And he knows, him and I think a lot alike in just how we think about things, introverted. And he was talking about writing. In fact, he asked me to write, to help him write, or to contribute to something, a devotional. And he got me thinking, let's see what I could do here. Maybe I could do this. And one of my favorite devotionals, the devotional that I've gone through a bunch of different ones, but the one that sticks is My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. And I love his style. Because nothing connects me, nothing forces me to stop and look at myself and Jesus and nothing else like Oswald Chambers. So I'm going to make an attempt, and not for 1 second am I saying that I'm going to even be close to Oswald Chambers, but I'm going to make an attempt to do two things here: to write devotionals and to connect, I should say this the other way around, and connect with Jesus better. See, I'm spending time, I'm reading, and I'm taking little notes, but it's not enough for me. I'm an introvert. I take all this stuff in my head, but I have to stop and go, I can't just read it. And I can't just write a few notes. I have to stop and process it. I can survive. I can get through by reading it and writing notes. I could probably even get A's on tests. But I'm talking about my soul in my relationship with Jesus. So what I started doing, and this is something you could do, and you don't have to share it with anybody. If you want to. If you do, share it with me. Reach out to me. I'll show you how to set up a blog if you don't know how to do it. But at least try this. If you feel like you're just sort of got this loose connection with your daily Bible reading, try this. Read a little bit. Maybe read, and I read, Be Still and Know That I Am God. And I'm going to read to you what I came up with. And then I'm going to let you go. I have done this 3 days now. It's only 3 days, so take it for what it's worth. You can go to rockodelio.com/Real Dad Devotionals. And by the time you hear this, there'll be more than just a few. But this is something I'm going to start doing. And it helped me get this episode. That this episode was a struggle to get out there. And because of everything I've been going through. And now I feel like I've unlocked the Bible again, friends. Now I'm digging deeper. I can read three lines, 3 sentences, and I could write 300 words on it. Some of it's going to be good, and some of it's going to stink. I'm going to do the best I can to not put the stinky stuff out on my website and just keep that. I'm using Day One app, by the way. I think it's only iPhone and Mac, but find something. You could use Evernote. something that's easy to get back and forth into. Everyone knows it's a little clunky, but whatever works. Okay, day one works great. I think it's free, or maybe it's $10. I don't know, but I just open it up and I tag it devotionals, so I can go back later if I want to, because I'm just going to cut and paste and maybe reformat it for my blog. But that's how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to read this and then we're going to jump on out of here. So the point of this, friends, is first and foremost for me to force me to look at what, at least to force me to look at what I'm reading from the Bible and make a thought, a connection to it. What is this telling me? And I'll write and I'll go, no, wait, that's wrong. That's not what it's telling me. And then I'll fix it. So I'm going to read this and then we're going to hop out of here. So I need the music here. Where's the sound here? So calming the spirit. And I'll put a link in the show notes. This is a blog post I wrote. I'm not getting sound. There we go. Calming the spirit by knowing God. Real Dad Devotionals. Be still and know that I am God. What makes me still? What is it today that stops me and has my attention, my concerns? Am I so worried about a thing, an anxiety, a trouble, an unknown that I forget that I am not the architect of the solution? The worry of the solution and the appropriate outcome is not up to me. God doesn't ask for a part of me. He isn't seeking my attention. I enjoy calm morning walks along the lake. At dawn, the water is so still that it looks like a perfectly designed mirror. The reflection so crisp, it's hardly believable. I can hear every bird and fish moving around along the shallows. The stillness lets me see the many parts that make up the lake. This is in stark contradiction to the summer roar of mid-afternoon on the lake. July afternoons, I can hear the boats screaming along with skiers and rafts and the flap of the waves constantly making noise. The lake is a constant moving entity. There's nothing inherently wrong with this, but the details are impossible to see. Sometimes I just stay out of its way. God wants me still. Only when I'm still can He truly show me He is God. After all, God doesn't want to get lost in the busyness of life, or for me to confuse His miracles as a circumstance of luck. When I am deep in worry over a thing or a situation or even a person, I'm busy trying to understand something I cannot possibly understand. I am trying to resolve my worry by pushing God aside so I can get to the business of fixing things. Only when things are calm can I get back to the business of trusting God. Sometimes I resolve to stress reduction by imagining the worst case scenario and finding a way to endure the loss. In essence, giving in to the worry. God will watch from the wings as I hopelessly flap my arms attempting to do His job. It is only when I am still and I recognize God for who He is, my refuge and my strength, that He reveals Himself as a solution to my worry. When I am still, I recognize that God is not a part of the solution. He is the entire solution. Only then will I experience the peace that comes from knowing that I don't have to calm the rushing waters of my life. Friends, RoccoDeLeo.com/68. Get the show notes and any links, anything that I remember to put in there. Like the Real Dad page. I have a Facebook page. I'm thinking about putting together a group, and that's where I'll put the links to that if I do decide to build that. Love to have you part of the community, have you part of my audience. I know you're listening here, but maybe you're just checking this thing out. I'm glad you're here. Friends, I'll see you next week. God bless. I love you.